What is up, you guys? Thank you for joining me today. My name is Tanya. I am back on here, and these are the books that I'm hoping to read in 2025. These are like the books I want to get to this year. I just did an unboxing of all of my Fairy Loot editions. My structure is essentially getting at least one Fairy Loot book in, one Brandon Sanderson book in a month, and one romance, one Kindle book. I don't think I want to do an audiobook, but I will if I need to. I'm in a few book club meetings too. These are all from my shelf currently, and a few of them are going to be from the Kindle here. And I'll just update you with the Kindle ones, which one I want. Like right now, I'm doing like a buddy read with Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey, but I want to get at least 3 or 4 a month. It could be more, it could be longer. Right now, I'm reading Fourth Wing. Because Onyx Storm is coming out. Then I'm going to read a book called Iron Flame, and then Onyx Storm should be coming out by then. Number 1 books are going to be the Zodiac Academy. I'm already finished or halfway through the 5th one, First Fates, and they just came out with another one this past month or the month before, and I'll let you know which one it is. But this is by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valentini. It's about these 2 girls who are orphans that and then like a fairy comes and mystics them into this fairyland, and they basically are the long lost daughters of the Mad King or something like that. And so they're going to this fairy school. It's kind of like a post-secondary school, and they are trying to fit in, not even fit in, it's trying to like navigate through their magical powers. They have magic powers, and they're like the strongest fairies that there are, and there's a lot of other forces coming in, and they have to compete with the 4 ruling sons, the princes, not princesses, princes, who are very, very powerful, and their parents are on the council, which help rule the kingdom together. So they're navigating through that. I stopped on the 5th one because it was going through a lot of everything that was going on with me personally, and I couldn't read through that. I couldn't read anything romance. So this is heavily like romance based, but it has this like, I am who I am, and then everybody who's, you know, just needs to accept that kind of vibe. And I really enjoy that because kind of the vibe that I give off. My sister's over here is trying not to laugh, but I think that there are just moments where you just know yourself, and you really, like, you don't want to stop wearing a mask anymore. And talk about divine love, blah, 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 and like how star-crossed lovers, and that really got to me, and I had to put it down. I want to push through that part and see how it ends up being resolved. Is the writing incredible? No. Is it fun to read? Yeah. The next book that I want to read is Empire of the Vampire. I started this last year, but then again things got heated, and so I really started enjoying everything that I was reading. I mean, it's a little bit more on the lore heavy side of things. This is about an older vampire hunter. Our vampire, and basically there's a plot. Right, book? There's a plot. It's been 27 long years since the last sunrise. For nearly 3 decades, vampires have waged war against humanity, building their eternal empire even as they tear down our own. Now only a few tiny sparks of light endure in the sea of darkness. Gabriel de Leon is a silver saint, a member of a holy brotherhood dedicated to defending realm and church from the creatures of the night. But even the Silver Order could not stem the tide once daylight failed us, and now only Gabriel remains. Imprisoned by the very monsters he vowed to destroy, the last Silver Saint is forced to tell a story of legendary battles and forbidden love, of faith lost and friendships won, of the wars of the blood and the forever king, in the quest for humanity's last remaining hope, the Holy Grail. King Arthur vibes. I like that, talking about like perseverance and trials, and it's too much exactly what my life was like. So the next book I want to read is the Red Rising series. I read the first eons ago when it first came out at DragonCon. I got the first copy by the author there for free. But then I gave it away to a boy because I didn't know any better. I really want to read the rest of the series. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna read. It says his wife is taken, his people enslaved, driven by a longing for justice and the memory of lost love. Daryl will stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if he must become one of them to do so. It is a trilogy, and this is by Pierce Brown. So, the next thing I want to read is Ruthless, Vows. Now, this is the sequel to Divine Rivals, which I have back here. And this is by Rebecca Ross. This is the Fairyloot edition, so this is done a little bit differently. It's so beautiful. It's about the continuation of these two ex-co-workers who ended up going to the front lines together. And she is trying to look for her long-lost brother, and there's magic involved, letter writing. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful concept, and I really am excited to move forward. I cannot wait to read. I just need to be in the mood for it because I am a mood reader. Is The Shadow of Gods by John Gwynne. I have been eyeing it. I'm thinking of it in the forefront of my mind. This is like probably the number one read, the series that I want to read for the year. And it's like up my alley. It's over 500 pages. Oh, wow. I just know it's about dragons and I'm ready for it. But essentially it's when the gods fought, it was a battle so savage they destroyed themselves, leaving nothing but their bones in the broken land of Vidrid in their wake. Now as whispers of war echo over the fjords and across the plains, fate follows in the footsteps of three warriors, a huntress on a perilous quest, a noblewoman pursuing battle fame, and a thrall seeking retribution among the mercenaries known as the Bloodsworn. All three will change the course of the world as it once more falls under the shadow of the gods. I really can't wait. The next series that I want to read, so this is I think the third of the series, The Nobleman's Guide to Scandal and Shipwrecks. But the first of the series, which I still have to get, is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, and I'll post that up there. I think it's a Victorian era. It's supposed to be satirical. Olivia reads a lot too, noted about it, and I have to read it. The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue is the first one, and then I think this might be the fifth one. But I got this at Half Price Books for a great deal, so I decided to get it. So another thing I found at Half Price Books is Dead Man in a Ditch. This is Welcome to Cinder City. The name's Fetch Phillips. What do you need? Cover a gnome with a crossbow while he does a dodgy deal? Sure. Find out who killed Lance Niles, the big shot businessman who just arrived in town? I'll give it a try. What I don't do, because it's impossible, is search for a way to bring the magic back. There's no magic in this story, just dead friends, twisted miracles, and a secret machine made to deliver a single shot of murder. I picked it up because the cover intrigued me. It looks supposed to be a standalone, but now I'm seeing there's a second one. I am trying to incorporate more standalones, that way I'm not overwhelmed by the amount of series that I want to tackle. So boom. I love my Regency era, and I found this called Jane in Love by Rachel Givney. Jane Austen traveled to the present day, fell in love. So Bath, England, 1803. At 28, Jane Austen prefers walking and reading to balls. Grow up, Tanya. She also dreams of someday publishing her carefully crafted stories. Above all, she wants love. In great danger of becoming a spinster, Jane goes searching for a radical solution, and by accident, time travels. She lands in Bath, England, present day. The film set of Northanger Abbey. As Jane acquaints herself with the horseless carriages and shocking fashions of the 21st century, she also discovers she's now a published author. A famous one. She befriends Sophia Whitworth, a fading Hollywood actress starring in the new period film, who offers to help Jane return to her own time. Then Jane meets Fred, Sophia's brother, who has the audacity to be handsome, clever, and kind-hearted. But when Jane starts falling in love with Fred, disaster strikes. All her books begin disappearing from the shelves. Jane realizes that the longer she remains in the 21st century, the more she will erase herself from history. Jane must decide, is a chance at love worth staying lost in time? Oh! I didn't even read all of that when I picked this up. All I said was that Jane Austen wasn't present day love. Like, does that mean Tinder? Does that mean the online app? I really like the idea of her staying in her present time means her legacy gets depleted. Ooh, this is hitting really hard at home because this is where a lot of people come into conflict with their own lives, is following their career or following love, and which path is going to be more beneficial, or which path was the one that was meant to be, or the correct one. That is something that I'm struggling with. I think this would be a really good read to kind of help me ground myself, and even coming back to do YouTube with how busy my schedule got and with everything else that went on, we'll see. Well, hopefully this will be, because not everybody can get what they want, right? But I am by far grateful for all the things that I do have, the family that I have, the support that I have, the hobbies and interests that I have that keeps people interested. So thank you guys, a little disclosure. So that is going to put me in an existential crisis. I'm not ready, but whoever is. So the next book that I want to read, anything Tessa Bailey, I want to read all her books. Like, I think this would be a palate cleanser to everything, because her writing style has been pretty much consistent in everything she writes. Fangirl Down is honestly probably my favorite book of hers so far, and it's about a golfer and a person, like a normal person. But I love her writing style, just like a stand-in for all her books. I really want to get through them because she makes me happy. Like, I get really giddy and I start screaming. Like, those are the kind of romances I love, is the screaming. Especially the grumps to lovers. I love the grumps. The next book that I want to have to read is Dungeons and Drama. I think this is going to be like a February read by Kristy Boyce. I have started Dungeons and Dragons with my coworkers, and we're starting a campaign, so I'm really excited to kind of understand the references or even draw some inspiration from this book. So it says, rolling the dice on love. No one loves musicals more than Riley Morris. Her dream is to be a Broadway director, but when the spring show is canceled, Riley has to figure out a way to bring it back. Easier said than done. She's stuck working at her dad's game store, the place that means more to him than his family does. Riley can't waste any time at a dead-end job where her entire future is resting on making a name for herself, so she convinces her co-worker Nathan Wheeler, the floppy-haired, glasses-wearing guy she barely knows from school, to help her. In exchange, she'll help him make his gamer girl crush jealous. Plus, it won't hurt to show her egotistical ex, Paul, just what he's missing without her. So I love the fake dating aspect of it. It's got Dungeons and Dragons. Anything this kind of nerdy love, I love it. There was this one book, it's like NerdCrush or something like that. I listened to it last year and it was so good. It was about like a high schooler that loved to cosplay here in Georgia, and I loved it. So you should check that book out too. The next book is my high school friends, or I got pre-ordered, was Burn It All by Maggie Auffarth. I actually personally know her. I went to school with her, did musical theaters with her. She's so talented. She wrote a book, and I was like one of the first people who ended up like buying it from Barnes & Noble. So you should go get one, Barnes & Noble right now, and go support my lovely friend. Marley Henderson is having the worst year of her life. First, a drunken mistake cost her everything, including her engagement and her closest friend Thea. Then, a series of cruel rumors make her an outcast in the small Georgia community she calls home. Finally, a string of vicious arsons rip through town, leaving unchecked destruction and Thea's body in her wake. Oof. To the police. Sorry, that was really like, oh shoot. This is the first time I'm reading the synopsis. To the police, the case is cut and dry. Thea Wright was an unstable woman with a troubled history, and with no evidence to suggest otherwise, it seems clear that she was responsible not only for her own death, but for dozens of arsons in the months preceding it. To Marley, though, the truth is less obvious. Reeling from the loss, Marley teams up with her ex-fiancé to uncover the truth, but the deeper she digs into the night of Thea's death, the murkier the truth becomes. Not just about the fires that have been raging through town all summer, but about the woman she thought she knew. To get to the truth, Marley will have to face Thea's lies as well as the darkness she thought she put behind her long ago. Alternating POVs and dual timelines, Burn It All will have suspense, fans flying through each twist in turn to reach the stunning conclusion. I am so proud of you, Mags. She even got praised by Mina Hardy, who's the author of We Knew All Along and Like a Mother, and then Lori Elizabeth Flynn, author of The Girls Are So Nice Here. I'm so proud to see like a fellow red elephant just pursuing their dreams and making it happen. So thanks, Mags, and I'm super excited to review this and hope everybody else gets to read it too. The next one is Gothinkana. Look how shiny. Yes, this is a library one. And guys, use your library. Just use it. Just use the library. I have picked this book up, put it down, pick this book up, put it down. Again, my mood reading is genuinely awful, but A Tale of Dark Romance. This is by RuNyx. An unusual girl, an enigmatic man, an ancient castle. What could go wrong? I think I'm gonna leave it to that. I don't want to spoil myself. Next series that I want to read is The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. I read Bride last year and I really enjoyed it. Like, I didn't realize diving into it, but that is more of her fantasy, I guess. That was her first like into fantasy, but she really writes romances. When a fake relationship between scientists meets the irresistible force of attraction, it throws one woman's carefully calculated theories on love into chaos. Being proved wrong, love it. I guess it's fake dating. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, it's fake dating. I just enjoy when two people like to spend enough time together that they end up liking each other. It have to be two extremes to be a part of a relationship. You can be two very similar people and still have a relationship. Yeah, so anything Hazelwood has been up my alley. I have to read Secretly Yours. It is another Tessa Bailey book. I found this at an airport going up to Pennsylvania called 12th Night. Quite honestly, it gave me like the Black Knight vibes with Martin Lawrence, and I just picked it up. I didn't even have to read what it was talking about, so I don't even know what it is. It is part of Reese's Book Club, and on the sprayed edge is Game On, so I don't want to read anything about it. I want to be surprised by it, but I already know I'm gonna love it because of the Black Knight vibes. Because of that movie, I watch it like maybe 3 or 4 times a year because it's just a good movie that I love it. Dance to the music. The next series that I'm gonna take on for the entirety of the year is the Brandon Sanderson verse. It starts off with the Law First, but this is like the Mistborn series, the first of those 2. Yeah, so there's about, I want to say over 12 books. Way over 12 books. I'll put the right number. And I'm going to read it in this category. You can follow along if you want to. So that's why I want to do the Cosmere Universe, because or his latest book, I think it took him like years to finish the front of it. And I have all of those in a bookshelf ready to be read. The next series that I want to read is Name of the Wind. The Super Carlin brothers have been raving about this, and it is like supposed to be an adult version of Harry Potter, and it has been in my shelf for 3 years now, and I have to start it and stop it, start it, stop it. I'm in this grind where I'm just like, let's do this. So this is the next book I'm going to read by Patrick Rothfuss, and I know he has other books that I'm interested in, but I don't want to jump the gun with his books until I read Name of the Wind and see how I like it. The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. This creator talked about it in his bookshelf tour that he just did, and he said that it's supposed to be like one of the best books out there. Emperor Mapdare was the first to unite the island kingdoms of Dara under a single banner, but now the emperor is on his deathbed. His people are exhausted by his vast conscriptive engineering projects, and his counselors conspire only for their own gain. Even the gods themselves are restless. A wily, charismatic bandit and the vengeance-sworn son of a deposed duke cross paths as they each lead their own rebellion against the emperor's brutal regime. Together, they will journey to the heart of the empire, witnessing the clashes of armies, fleets of silk-draped airships, magical books, and shape-shifting gods. Their unlikely friendship will drastically change the balance of power in Dara. At what price? And there's like 4 books so far. So this one is, I think, is a standalone, and then the rest of them end up being like a trilogy, but they all interconnect. Hopefully, I'll get through it this year. That's the plan. The next series that I've been wanting to read is A Winter's Promise. I've had this for a couple years now, and it's been sitting on my bookshelf. The Mirror Visitor, Book 1. So this is about Ophelia possesses two special gifts, talent for seeing into an object's past and the ability to travel through mirrors. Her peaceful existence on Anima is interrupted when she is promised in marriage to the Thorn, a member of the powerful clan from a cold and distant ark. A pawn in a dangerous game that will have far-reaching consequences for her entire world, Ophelia must navigate the lies of her fiancé's plan in order to survive in the first installment of internationally best-selling Mirror Visitor series. And I have like 3 of their books already somewhere. Anything T.J. Klune, by the way. Whoever did Under the Whispering Door, he just came out with another book. I'm gonna post it up here. That I need to read it because it's very similar to how some of the Cressilians see. So I want to read more TJ Klune books. I think that his writing style is insanely good. It touches my heart. It made me think of this one person that I ended up meeting over the summer last year, and his story resonated with a lot with like what I wanted in life. And the way that it was gentle and simple, and it was talking about a same-sex relationship. I'm an ally. That story of struggle and still wanting to do things together. It got me. Especially like somebody who doesn't know themselves, doesn't like really recognize themselves, and then you have somebody who's so sure of themselves, and I'm always the person who's so sure of themselves, and I end up dating a lot of people who are not or are still in are transitioning phases. I might have to reread Under the Whispering Door because it really got me the last time, and it's such a beautiful, well done story that I kind of need that safe space of where I'm like being held gently the entire time while I'm reading it. Like that's how it felt. It does talk about grief and talks about like the next stages of life and stuff, but the way that he writes it probably the closest thing to lyrical that I'll ever probably read personally, besides like the Harry Potter books. So the next series I really want to get into is the Jade Cities series. Olivia Reads a Latte like really harped on this book. I know nothing about it outside of like a magic system, I suppose. It says Jade is the lifeblood of the island of Kikon, or Kakan, I don't know. It has been minced, traded, stolen, and killed for it, and for centuries, honorable Greenbone warriors like the Hall family have used it to enhance their magical abilities and defend the island of foreign invasion. Now the war is over, and a new generation of Calls vies for control of Kikon's bustling capital city. They care about nothing but protecting their own, cornering the jade market, and defending the districts under their protection. Ancient tradition has little place in the rapidly changing nation. It's about magic system. I really like anything that has to do with governing the city. I feel like Six of Crows vibe. It's from the Shadow and Bone series, but the second half of it, I really enjoyed Six of Crows and that duology. The next book series I want to read is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I really want to read more Jay Kristoff books because he has like a crap ton of them. In a land where 3 suns almost never set, Killer joins a school of assassins, seeking vengeance against the powers that destroyed her family. Yep, Throne of Glass vibes. Done. I really enjoyed Throne of Glass. Like it took a long time, and you struggled through the first one because she was younger when she first wrote it, guys. Remember, but I think I need that assassins in there. And the last book that I really want to get to, hopefully by this year, is it's by my birthday twin, who is on booktube. Her name is Elliot Brooks. This is her first book that she's written. If you want to support a small independent author, go to Elliot Brooks. And then she also hopefully is trying to finish that second book of this series here. So it's called Peace and Turmoil, The Dark Shores. So this is book 1. Must the world always be in a state of mourning? 30 years of peace have graced the lands of Abraham. I don't know if I'm saying it right. The waning bloodshed from the war of fire has ended, and the new generations have only the horrid tales of their forefathers to remind them of their country's past. Poverty no longer prevails, the sights and palms of men have grown soft, yet 4 nations dictate more power than they know. Civil unrest stirs among the first, and the heir to the throne of Mysidia, and the guardian to its dagger, questioned by a growing rebellion. To its south lies a country of scholars, the mighty nation of Zenith, liberators of the War of Fire and guardians of the amulet. Over the dividing wall lies the newly freed Sadie, a kingdom with an assassin for a prince and an insurgent at its heels. The fourth is the ancient realm of Eve, the land across the sea, gifted and cursed with the scythe as it shows them what's to come. Only one knows the fate of the world, but all will be pawns in its reckoning. And it is a thick girly. It is a thick girly. It is, let's see. Oh, it has a glossary too. That's cool. Or character list. 700 pages. I'm all about it. This might be like my March of the read because my birthday's in March. And her, yeah, we're literally birthday twins. So, hey, Elliot, if you're seeing this, happy birthday, twin. And I'm so excited to read this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna read. I do have some like mental health books that I am reading, and I'll update you guys that on whenever I get to it. I am using Kindle Unlimited too, so anytime that I see something that my book club or my buddy reads that I'm doing with other people, I'll include as I'll do my TBRs or my wrap-ups. And right now, like my first of the year book club, we're reading The Alchemist. So that is almost finished. And that's like a classic, and it's putting us back in. It was short and simple and sweet during like all the holidays. And then the next book in February for that 1 month book club is going to be Emma, which I am so excited, especially with that Jane Austen book being in there. Thank you guys for joining me and being a part of my time here and just listening in. Just know that it's okay for you not to do anything like big and grand this year. If you get through 5 books, you get through 5 books. If you get through hundreds of books, you get through hundreds of books. I think I'm gonna stay off social media with what I mean with like Instagram and stuff, because that genuinely dampens my mental health and like not reading fast enough, especially when I have so much going on. I love my Bookstagram girlies who are going through it and getting through arcs, and like I'm so excited for them growing. But it does make me feel kind of bad that I'm not going as fast as they are. So for me, I'm gonna step it back a little bit with that just for myself and get through the books that I have on my shelf. I don't want to keep buying books. That's not gonna stop me. But I don't want to keep buying books with an intention of like, oh, I must get this because it's influenced by everybody. I want to go back into the bookstore and pay whatever catches my eye. Hopefully my channel doesn't feel overwhelming. That is not the point. The point, it does feel overwhelming for me, but I just want you to know that you are more than welcome to read at your own pace. It's okay for you to do that. And if you're having mental breakdowns at every moment, like me, maybe, and you can't sit still for a long time, then maybe switch into audiobooks. Ooh, that hurts my soul. Going back to your comfortable reads is okay as well. You don't have to read new books. You don't have to go get through them. Typically, when it comes to a new book, I go through to 100 pages before I put it down. That's my goal, but again, no pressure. Do it at your own pace. Like, reading is supposed to be fun, and I'm really excited that people are starting to take this on as a hobby. Join a book club, join buddy reads, even if it's with like a random friend of yours on Instagram or anything like that. I've actually have like 3 buddies that want to read with me. I'm really excited that they're all waiting to do things with me, you know, and I'm very like, let me just get through this one book. But everyone's so understanding, and if they're just like, hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and read it, go for it. So thank you so much for joining in. Wanted to post these out before I lost my nerve. So I hope you guys have a good January. I'm gonna try. Bye.